Hey guys, Mickey here, Not Cartel, back on Kick-Ass Beer Review. Yes, another home brew. It's the O'Donnell's Irish Stout, a clone of the most recent counterculture to this date. It's their own Irish Cream Stout, 7%. Mine didn't come in that high, I just fell short. 6.68% for mine, 21 litre batch, 3 litres of loss. 60-minute boil time, 80% mash efficiency. Yes, our mash efficiency is up thanks to changing the gap on the rollers for the grain mill here, sitting upon a shit ton of grain. Loving it. 26.03 litres of mash volume, 5.73 litres of sparge volume. This is working on the Grainfather app, most suited to our system over there, which is the Series 1 Robo Brew. 1.062 OG, original gravity, 1.011 final gravity, 8.5 IBUs, so I've kept the IBUs down on this one to bring through those flavours a little bit better. We'll just finish pouring that off. We'll have a look at the beer. Yes, we're struggling with the head retention carbonation on this particular beer, mainly because I added something to it to try and get rid of, which was plant-based Milo, which was boiled off and the fat solids removed, but it's still affecting what's going on here. Why I put that in there? Probably to help with more of the sort of malt, sort of chocolate flavors. I was trying to get some sort of creamy vibe going in with the lactose. 68.7 EBCs, which is quite obvious there. 6.68% as mentioned. Fermentables we used for the grain bill is 4 kilos of Munich malt, Munich coming from Joe White maltings. We also put in a kilo of Spartacus malt, which is from Cooper's. Cooper's Spartacus is, from my understanding, is the Gladfield equivalent. It is their red labelled ale malt, which probably makes their red label beer. So obviously, those who are familiar with Cooper's, they've got green label pale ale, the red labeled strong ale, I think it is, and then so forth. We used 300 grams of chocolate malt, 300 grams of roast barley, 200 grams of carapils. Most of these are coming from Joe White, with the exception of a couple there, carapils coming from Wayman, and 150 grams of Crystal Light, which we just discovered after putting the code in through Google, is actually a medium crystal, so a bit heavier there. Colour is pretty much on point. We did just the standard mash depth of 65 degrees and mash out 75. 25 grams of Czech SARS to give us our 8.5 IPUs in a 60-minute addition there, and just went with 2 packets of USO 5 Safale and fermented about 17-18 degrees over the 10 days. It's coming out pretty good. Now, to get the vibes into this that we required, we couldn't. You can't add Irish cream to it, obviously, for main reasons being that it is cream and milk based and would just curdle, so you can't be doing that. We went down the road of actually purchasing a spirit base and essence to help emulate what these guys are. From my understanding, they've pretty much done the same thing, so it is all sort of extract type stuff going into it as an adjunct. And then with this one, we wanted to add, I didn't have any free barrel space, so I wanted to add a bit of barrel aged vibe, so I went with the Mangrove Jacks, which is no longer available. They stopped making it. Is their bourbon barrel oak beer additive to give it that sort of touch. So strayed a little bit away from actually trying to produce an exact replica or clone of that particular beer. Most clones that I do would take several goes before we get anywhere with it. As close as possibly can. We've got 2 cans of the original still sitting in the fridge that we can do a side by side with, and hopefully we get pretty close and we can tweak and understand exactly what the beer needs to emulate exactly what's coming from the counterculture beer. Aroma is absolutely beautiful. It has that Irish cream liqueur aroma, quite prominent, not as prominent as what's coming from the counterculture one. These guys have done really well with that particular beer. Took a can with me to Queensland to enjoy around the campfire, and yeah, let's just say it didn't last real long while sitting by the fire. Not picking up a lot of that barrel additive from Mangrove Jacks. There's a little bit there, sort of like a bourbon note. Probably if you could get it in a whiskey version would be much better, because it is basically like an Irish whiskey, Irish cream whiskey. It is available. You can get, obviously, you get Irish whiskey, Irish cream based whiskey from most bottle shops. Anyway, in for a taste. Yes, it also does contain lactose, which is quite there. It's the first thing, sort of in the sweetness, and the Irish cream coming across from the Irish cream base, spirit base, and essence. Tastes a little bit of SARS in there, so it might have been a little bit too much of a touch of SARS. 25 grams in 60 minutes. And I think maybe a little bit too much of that Mangrove Jacks bourbon essence, or bourbon beer additive, bourbon oak. No longer available, but for those who want to know what it looks like, I did purchase them, quite a few bottles of it. Also, it was marked down because it's expired. Mangrove Jacks, natural flavour boost for beer and brewing. Some of you have probably actually seen it. It's not bourbon oak, it's American oak. Normally $9 down to $4.50 because it's got a July 2022 date on it, but also because they don't make it anymore. This is 50 mils and it does 23 litres. Great exciting new flavours in your beer. The bloke at the Morris at Home brew shop said to me, you just can't put American oak into a beer. It just doesn't work. And I said, well, barrel aged bourbon, barrel aged stouts, Russian Imperial, any sort of bourbon or barrel aged stouts would pretty much suit things like this. But it's so shake well and add this flavouring to 23 litres. Alternatively, flavour at 1.5 mils of flavouring to 750 ml bottle prior to carbonation. Natural flavouring water and humescent. Shake well, blah blah blah. It smells and tastes absolutely phenomenal. As it is straight out of the bottle. If you drank that, it'd be like it tastes like you're actually having a nip of bourbon or anything sort of American oak. So works quite well. It's a shame that they're not making it anymore. There is passion fruit, coffee, and there is another flavour there too that I might, as I'm heading through, jumping in the bargain bin and grabbing a couple more of them. I think the coffee one would probably be a really good one to grab too for something like a stout, but that's exactly what it is. Someone probably used it. He said it didn't sell really well, so hence why there was at least probably 20 bottles sitting in the bargain bin, and at $4.50 it's quite a unique and definitely works quite well. I like it. Natural flavoured boost for beer and brewing. So I'm going to go grab a few more of those. Just grab that one today because I'd already thrown the bottle out prior to doing this video, and go from there. So that's the O'Donnell's Irish Stout. Gets better as it gets warmer, obviously, like most stouts. This is going to need a few more things in it. Obviously, I just wanted to get the base going for this first. I think oats to help bring through that little bit more of a thicker mouthfeel. Obviously, a little bit more creaminess as well, or an oat milk might work well as well. But that is it. Once again, yeah, it's carbonation is just shot because of that addition of Milo, plant-based Milo. Apparently it doesn't taste the same as normal Milo, so it's ended up out in a brewery for experimentation. It's easy to get the head going again, as you can see, but doesn't last long. Anyway, I'm happy with it, and we'll go again. Let's do another one to try and replicate the counterculture beer. Cheers.